When you say that, I got to correct you. I got to stop you right there. This is why I'm on the show.
Why?
Russo'sBrand.com, where the pros are the pros.
Nielsen has announced a big change and update to the way that they track TV viewership. Now, we know in recent years they started adding in some YouTube Live and Hulu Live numbers. We've discussed that in the past, but now they're using Big Data Plus panel with data from cable, satellite set-top boxes, and smart TVs across 45 million households and 75 million devices. Devices, I'm assuming, are phones, tablets, computers. Over 75 million of those, plus the 45 million homes, to support the media industry beyond advertising planning and buying by helping to inform content programming and licensing decisions. Nielsen's CEO said that this is a landmark moment. No one else pairs a high-quality representative panel with a data set this large, pulling from smart TVs and set-top boxes, and that this will give them the most accurate measurement in the history of TV. Well, since these numbers started coming out, we have seen this affect the pro wrestling numbers heavily. SmackDown, 1.03 million, down 34% of the first week with these new numbers. AEW Dynamite, 465,000, down 27% from the prior week at the old system.
Wow. It doesn't surprise me that they've taken such a dramatic, and it's obviously been in the works for quite some time. You can't do anything that large scale without taking an immense amount of time and planning. But it's been for several years now that the network partners that we have with OVW and even the local broadcast partner that we have, they don't pay for Nielsen's service anymore because of the fact that it was so expensive and it didn't give them real data that they needed. And so this is not a shock that Nielsen has taken such a step to upgrade. Not shocking that Nielsen's taken a step like that. Shocking to find that has such a negative impact on wrestling, because what's been the big excuse that's even been used on here? Oh, well, it's not the same anymore, Al. They don't just watch TV, they watch tablets and they watch phones and they watch YouTube. And if this they're saying is correct, that they take that all into account, and yet the numbers still dropped, that means there's not as much of an audience anymore as there once was, because they're not giving them what they once did.
Al, listen, I don't have an agenda. I don't
either.
I basically say I watch a television show on Mondays and Thursdays, Mondays and Fridays, which I personally don't think is a good television show. It's that simple. But let me ask you this, Al, bro, we're talking about SmackDown a week away from being under 1 million viewers. Al, I got to be honest, I never thought I would see that. I never thought, because I always used to say to myself, okay, man, they're going to hit the panic button when they're under 1 million, thinking under 1 million was never going to happen.
Right.
But now with these numbers and this new system, they are so close to under 1 million. Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And the reason it doesn't is because I've talked about this for a long time. There's been a shift in this business, not from the promoter's standpoint, not from the writer's standpoint, because the writers don't make the business. The talent do. Okay? The writers don't make the show. The talent do. At the end of the day, it's the talent. And the disassociation with what an audience buys a ticket to do or tune in to watch has become greater and greater. There has been more emphasis put on by both the talent and the people that produce them on selling what they do. And God bless them. I mean, I've said this for a number of years. There's more athletic ability in this business than there ever has been. I mean, it's amazing the athleticism that all of these young men and women have. It's incredible.
But Al, we also let me just say something. I gotta say something about that. Let me just say something.
I'm going to contrary. Listen,
but no, let me just. You're not going to say this because I'm very much more intelligent than you, okay. Al. When you say that, I got to correct you. I got to stop you right there. This is why I'm on the show.
Why?
Because when you make a statement like that, you know how people take that. No. Oh, there wasn't athleticism back then.
There's more now.
No, it's not. I don't believe that there's more now. They're just doing more now. You were capable. You were capable of doing that.
How about there is more athleticism exhibited?
Okay, well, let's say that, Al. God, all that's right. Why I'm on. Thank God I'm on this show saving Al's ass because all he right. takes all credit away from his era and what these guys did. Al, don't tell me that you couldn't have done what these guys did.
I could, and I used to, and it didn't draw money.
Okay, thank you. So go ahead, Al. I'll shut up now. You can go now.
All right. Maybe there's more athleticism exhibited exhibited on a regular basis now.
Thank you.
Than ever before.
Yes.
All right. But the problem is, and the emphasis is on, again, the emphasis is on selling what is done. It is no longer on selling the who and the why. And an audience, when they come and because a lot of this is excused and justified by saying, well, you know, they know it's fake. They know, they don't come to watch anymore to see, to believe in the context of what we're doing, that we're really competing like it's a sport. They don't buy that no more. Brother, they've known that I've said this, I don't know how many times. I can't say it enough. They have known that for decades. The reason that thousands upon thousands of people continued to show up at events on a regular basis was we as performers allowed them to do the one thing they want to do more than anything else. And that is they want to believe. They want to believe in who that performer is, and they want to believe in why they're doing it. That's it. And when you're not selling that, when you're not emphasizing the who and the why, both from the performer's standpoint and from the writer's standpoint, when you're emphasizing selling the what you do as opposed to the who and the why, then you're going to have a drop in your audience because you're not giving them what they paid to see. Now, you get the excuse.
Wait, can I jump in right there? Can I jump? Al, you got Al, you got to understand when I'm jumping in, I'm making your point stronger before we go on to the next topic. Right, I know when I need to jump in. I know I'm not Dave Hero. I know when I need to jump in. Because I'm trying to back you up for right. Jeff, I'm trying to back the guy up and he's cutting me off and he's insulting for me trying to back him up. Al, this is what Al is saying, because a lot of people don't understand Al, Jeff. He's been hitting the head a lot. He talks in circles. Here's what Al's saying. This is why Al is spot on. And Al, you talk in circles because nobody listens. I'm saying this to make your point crystal clear. We've never put it in these terms before. Okay, Jeff, you go to a movie theater or you watch television to escape. Yeah. Escape. You want to believe this John Wick world is real. You want to believe this Star Wars, it's real. You go to escape. Jeff,
go to escape, not escape.
Escape. Jeff, what Al is saying is you went to wrestling for the same thing. We know there isn't a Chewbacca. We know there isn't a Darth Vader. We understand that. We're going to escape. What Al is saying is that's why you went to wrestling. The same exact thing. They knew what they were watching, and now they've taken that out of the mix. Am I right?
Yes.
You're welcome. Say thank you. I'll say thank you, Vince.
Thank you.
All right, now go ahead. I just want to make it clear to people. This is why you're spot on. Go ahead, Al.
But you're right. They've taken that out of it. And the performers have been, over the last couple of decades, been really kind of motivated by this whole, I don't know what you would call it, like conditioning that the vocal minority of the Meltzers and etc. It's now more about aspiring to get a rating, a good rating on a match based on what you do, because that's what those fans look for. That's what those fans want. That's what those fans appreciate. So now the wrestlers, the performers, are getting rewarded both financially and opportunity-wise and acclaim-wise by performing for this vocal minority and no longer for the mass majority that, to your point, came to watch wrestling, either tuning in or attending just to escape. The word is escape. I think we're starting to see, from what the Nielsen numbers are stating, I could be wrong. I'm sure Meltzer will point something out, because God knows he knows everything. But if the numbers are dropping and are steadily doing so, then you've got to. I have this argument with people all within the wrestling business all the time. Drives me nuts, because for me, it's my way of taking personal responsibility and culpability. All right, when OVW doesn't draw, right, I go, well, man, what the hell? What are we not doing? And I'll get this. Well, there was such and such, there was this, there was that, and I'll go, yeah, I know. But if you're giving an audience what they want to see, guess what they'll do? They'll pay to see it. I don't give a shit what's down the street. There's always something. There's always been, there's always will be an option. Hear that? There always has been and there always will be an option. If you're not giving them what they want to see, they're not going to pay to see it. Simple as that. They're not going to tune in. They're not going to attend.